FINRA has flipped the market over by halting all MMTLP trades. So what exactly is going on? Sit tight as we go through recent news as well as my MMAT chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. Brokerages are blocking both buy and sell features for MMTLP, and investors have been deprived of their powers after FINRA revised its corporate notice. The notice previously permitting exchange into NextBridge Hydrocarbons now stated that shares purchased after 8th December will not be exchanged. Hence, brokerages halted buying and selling, taking away all control from the investors. A few days ago, we had already discussed how FINRA seemed to be helping the short sellers by delaying the corporate notice. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right over now in the 1-day chart for MMAT, and first we'll analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off we'll get the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, before we do the analysis, we all know what happened with MMTLP. We already just discussed that. But of course, I won't be, analyzing MMTLP ticker because of course trades are halted and there is literally no point since there is no new price action, right? But before we begin MMAT's analysis, let's quickly address the problem and elaborate on it further. So we all know that FINRA is basically a regulation authority that works in the best interest of investors, right? But that nowhere mentions retail investors, right? Let's be honest here. Investors, basically it means that they will side with whoever has more money, right? Let's be honest. And again, this is just my own opinion. I'm not making any accusations, right? But the situation got really, really dirty real quick, if you ask me. And I personally have been suspecting this since a long time, since especially the corporate notice got delayed. And that was just a bit weird to me, right? The way that entire situation came out, it was just a bit weird. And the fact that now I already mentioned this a long time back, but yet people were back then bashing me that hey, we can place sell orders for like 100x or 10x or whatever, right? And even though that did sound good, but at the same time it did sounded too good to be true, right? Let's be honest. And that exactly I believe is where the problem began. And people thought that hey, we can place sell orders, they'll have to kind of squeeze in. And while it was true, right, FINRA stepped in and they were like, hey, no, we won't let you do that, right? We won't let you manipulate the market on your terms. So we'll, manipulate the market on our terms instead. That's what, exactly happened. So to elaborate it, or rather to sum it up in a few simple words, all that happened was instead of letting retail traders manipulate the market, they allowed corporates to manipulate the market, and that is what that's my best understanding of this entire situation. But now that we cannot really do anything about it, let's quickly get into MMAT's analysis, and then we'll probably see what happens on Monday with MMTLP. So I'll make a video on Monday about that, right? But for now, as for MMAT, we can see that we've fallen by about 38%, 37% in the past 3 days, right? Now, of course, today is Saturday, so we won't be getting any price action today, but we are currently trading at $1.42, down 22% in the past day on Friday, right? So where's the support? Of course, we have a support right here, right? Around 1.23, 1.2 pretty much, right? Below that, we do have another support around the pretty much the $1 area, right? A little below that because, of course, people set their stop losses and targets a little above or below psychological levels. We do have another support around here at 1.68 pretty much, 1.7 pretty much. And now if we were to talk about where the stock is headed, now, trust me on this, but we probably will fall further on Monday because as you guys already know that with the entire MMTLP situation, I'm sure that many investors will get tired of this and just exit their positions, which honestly they're not supposed to do because as I already tell you, right, as I always tell you, that trading is a game of logic and not of emotion. So if you get tired and you're like, hey, I can't take this anymore, I can't emotionally take this anymore, or rather, I don't have the mental capacity to take this anymore, then, well, I guess trading is not for you. But, anyways, it is a lot of trouble mentally as well when you get to deal with such stuff, when you have high hopes and expectations from a company and something like this happens. It is a big blow. Wait, we also have another support over here, or well, now it's a resistance at 1.78. So I thought just, to mention it. And if we're talking about the current price action, if let's say we fall on Monday, how hard are we going to fall? I believe that we might actually get all the way down towards the $1 level. So probably another 20% fall, right? Why is that so? Because of course, investors are worried, right? Investors are definitely not happy with the way that things are turning out, right? They thought that, hey, we'll buy on 8th or 9th, right, when the prices are going down, and then we'll eventually get to sell at much better prices, get 10x, 50x, 100x returns. But as you all know, that did not happen. So where's the stock headed? MMAT? Well, MMAT, in my opinion, as we all know it, it's not that strong on the financial terms, right? And at the same time, fundamentally as well, I don't think that the company is all that great because we can see that we've had negative earnings reports. But at the same time, I'm not saying that the stock will not go up, or I'm not trying to spread fear or anything like that. I'm just expressing my own opinion because we all know that at this point, I've given up all hope, right? It's honestly of no use to leave things on the market and to think that the markets will ever give you crazy returns, or everything just that sounds too good to be true probably is too good to be true. So we should be careful around those things. And well, what can we do at this point, right? I do think that we might actually get good returns for those of you who get into next bridge hydrocarbons, right? We already discussed that in our previous videos, that if they liquidate their assets, we might get $40 to $120 per share for MMTLP shareholders. So that again is great, right? And if those people push in their shares, or rather their profits, into MMTL, MMAT, then MMAT might go up in a short-term squeeze, right? But at the same time, do I think this company will go up long term? Well, the way it has been going, I personally don't think so, right? Because after especially this incident, if George Palikaras is seen to be somewhat involved in this, right? This entire thing that happened where people were like crazily buying into this thing, thinking like, hey, we'll buy into MMTLP, we'll get a crazy short squeeze. And at the same time, if it turns out that the company's CEO is involved in this, with the entire FINRA thing, then the company is definitely going down because then people will eventually stop trusting him, right? That's again just my own view and not financial advice. And you're honestly free to do whatever you feel like, but this is just my own opinion and analysis. 1.57 is another level, and at the same time, we'll have to jump on into the 1 hour chart because there's, really isn't anything left to analyze in the 1 day chart. And now that we're in the 1 hour chart, we can see that we did get crazy volumes over here on 7th December, and ever since then, the bearish trend was triggered, and this probably one of the reasons must have been the fact that some insiders, or rather some people who knew about this, or corporations, they started to cover their positions, and other corps starting helping them out. And at the same time, people who had fear, right, people who fearfully exited their trades, probably were like, hey, I have to exit this before it goes down further. And that is why they sold at whatever prices they could get, and that is why corporations had easier exits. And at the same time, over here we can see that um, this is pretty much a fear-induced bear trend, right? And most bearish trends are fear-induced, fear-induced. So we did get two reversal patterns over here on the upside, right? So we might actually get a gap up on Monday, if you ask me. And if we get a gap up on Monday, will we fall down still? Well, in my opinion, we probably will, considering the way that things are currently going, right? So in the end, honestly, I personally am very disappointed with with the way things turned out to be, and I'm pretty sure most of you are. So let me know in the comments, right? I can't really comment on that too much because who knows where this might head, right? This might head into a lawsuit, this might head into anything, honestly. So, with that, I don't think there's anything honestly to analyze in the 1 hour chart either. We only have this reversal pattern and a crazy selling pattern. We did get some pin bars over here that indicated further crazy selling, right? This pin bar as well, followed by red candle, again pin bar, right? It was a bad thing, it was a bad sign. So now we'll have to jump on into the 5-minute chart where we can really get a bigger picture of where Monday is headed. And now that we're in the 5-minute chart, we can see that over here we did get crazy volumes in the first few hours, or rather just the first hour of the market, right? And we did fall down by about 30% in the first few hours, or rather first 1 hour and 15 minutes of the market. After that, we did see some recovery, right? We got into somewhat of a bullish trend. We did see a few pin bar reversals over here as well. and we got a pin bar over here, for example, another pin bar over here, and then we went up a bit, right? We did recover from the bottom that we made over here by about 9%, so that is good. But at the same time, if we look over here, we kind of were squeezed into this range at 1.36 and 1.3. So the 1.3 to $1.4 range was really squeezing up the stock's price. And at the same time, again, dry volumes over here, it's pretty normal because the stock is now going back to its old typical price action, right? If we can see, wait, let me zoom out a bit. We'll go back to the days when this entire thing had not started. Now, this is when we were getting good volumes, right? And before that, we can see that over here. Let me get exactly to that point. Yes, here we are. So we can see that back then we did not have all that good volumes, right? Or those good volumes. We had literally a few hundred shares being traded for every 5 minutes, which has now changed into a few thousand. But at the same time, I do believe that the stock is finally wearing out a bit. And honestly, Monday's video might be the last video that I have, that I get to make on the stock. Because then again, with the entire MMTLP situation, I personally got really disappointed, and I'm sure that the community is disappointed as well. And I don't really want to, what do you call it? I don't want to bite into their wounds or something like that, right? I don't want to um, make them sad further about what exactly happened. But at the same time, if we talk about MMAT's fundamentals, right, we can see that analyst ratings are sell from technical perspectives and buy from analyst ratings. $2.75 price target. Will that be achieved? Well, who knows? With the way that things are currently going, I guess we'll have to, we'll have no choice but to wait until Monday to pass our final verdict. But, do I believe that the stock will fall on Monday? In my opinion, it probably will. But at the same time, I could be wrong. So remember that this most definitely is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.